Good morning, my friends. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Don't be shy. It all helps the channel grow. Glad to see you all. What's happening today? Anything great? I didn't hear. Anyway, I'll get on with what I'm about to talk about. I'm going to talk about empathy, narcissists, and gaslighting. They're all terms that you hear. People like to throw that around. He's a narcissist. She's a narcissist. I'm an empath. He's an empath. You lack empathy. And gaslighting. People, that's another one that likes to be thrown everywhere, all over the internet, in the conversations. If someone's pissing you off, you immediately call them a gaslighter. All I'm going to talk about is my own perceptions, my own view, and my own knowledge of these things. Firstly, with a narcissist. A narcissist, it's a clinical diagnosis by a psychiatrist. So people can have narcissistic traits. People can have empathetic traits. And as far as gaslighting goes, that's in the opinion of a person who's accusing the other person of being a gaslighter. That's basically opinion-based. There could be truth to it, and there could not be truth to it. Because gaslighting is actually, its definition and meaning has changed. Since the term's been overused lately, it's been thrown around a lot. It has changed, because originally what gaslighting was deliberately trying to do subtle psychological warfare on a person to convince that person they were mad, or that they were of an alternate truth, or it was basically to deceive a person, and it was done quite deliberately. As far as a narcissist goes, as I said, they're diagnosed. They can only be diagnosed clinically, but people can have narcissistic traits, just as we can have empathetic traits. Now, what is a trait? A trait can come to us in two ways. It can come down through genetics, such all these people in the family have the same kind of nose, or the same colour eyes, or the same chin, the same kind of voice. That's a trait. That's passed down by genetics. And it's there's also behavioural traits, which can be genetic as well. And mental health comes into play there too. There's conditions that can be hereditary, and it can a diagnosed trait can be hereditary, but traits can be learned. Traits can be a product of the environment. So narcissism can be learned from, if you're in a family of people who's got narcissistic traits, well, you're going to pick up on those traits, because that's a learned behavior. The same as empathy. I believe every single one of us, every human being, is born with empathy. We're all at different levels on our empathetic journey, and this world has created a harsh environment, an environment where you get left behind if you don't get ahead, and people pick up the narcissistic traits to succeed. There's a lot of talk saying that sociopaths or a psychopath are company leaders and political leaders. They use their sociopathic or psychopathic personality for good. So we're kind of conditioned to think that narcissism and some of the psycho ways of thinking are a positive, good thing, and they can lead us to be successful. We're taught to not to stop and care about people. We're taught that compassion can be detrimental to us. We're taught that why care about, would that person care about you? So we're conditioned from the start to have more narcissistic, more self-serving traits than we are to be a compassionate, empathetic person. Now, I won't get into the spiritual side of it, because I believe empathy is a spiritual journey as well. And as you become more spiritually awake, spiritually aware, empathy is a natural byproduct of being a spiritually aware person. But I'll stick to our earthly, everyday lives. We can learn empathy. Empathy can be learned. It can be taught. It can become part of our personality, part of our character. We just have to understand that empathy is a good thing. If it's like one hand serves the other hand. You pick someone up, and then one day they'll pick you up. But you don't do it for self. You do it for the greater good. Empathy is the answer, because empathy comes in the hand with love, compassion, positivity, inner peace. And the road to empathy is understanding yourself, understanding your inner self, self-awareness. Empathy can be learned through mindfulness, through self-awareness, self-reflection. That's where you learn empathy from. And once you understand yourself, because basically as humans we're all the same in our wants, needs, desires, loves, fears. Once you understand your own, you can see that in other people, and you can pick up on other people's energies. And empathy allows you to read people without even speaking. You can walk into a room and you can pick up the vibrations of people and understand who they are, what they are. You can see through intentions. You can see through, if someone's trying to deceive you, you can see that straight away. And how you act up on that, it's up to yourself. It's up to the level of awareness and self-awareness and universal awareness that you're at. Because sometimes reacting to some things is best not to, and best to let it just go on as it is and just unnoticed. But there are times when you do need to act, and sometimes the best ways to act is to leave yourself in that situation, rid yourself in that situation, because empathetic people can be drawn down into negativity, because we seem to take on a lot of other people's fears, stresses, anxieties. Because once you're in touch with empathy, it can be very empowering, but it can also be very draining. And once we realize we can't help everyone and anyone, sometimes the best course of action is to leave a situation and understand that there was nothing that you could have personally done, because you're going to sacrifice yourself, you're going to sacrifice your own happiness, where you could help many more people in the long run. So before you think someone is a narcissist or an empath or anything, have a good look at their traits, have a look at their character, have a look at the way they act, the way they talk, the way they love, the way they are with people. But even those of us who do have a big amount of empathy, that we do have our moments where we're lacking any empathy, because we get flustered, angered, we get put through trials and hardships through just being in tune with people's energies. I'll just finish up. A good measure of it to see if you radiate empathy and your energy levels is high is how are animals around you. Are animals drawn to you? As I say that, are they drawn to you? Do they love you? Are they affectionate? Do they trust you? You know, we need animals are a good judge of what's inside us. They don't look at us in our physical features. They don't care what colour our hair is, how many tattoos we've got, the clothes we wear, how much money we've got. Animals pick up on our inner selves. Animals are empathetic. They're the perfect example of pure empathy. They understand and they pick up on our energies, and we can become just in tune, have just as much intuition as our animals if we practice and learn empathy. And it's just like being at school and studying and being smart and getting good test results. There's some people it comes natural, just like there's some people that's natural born empaths. Okay, there's other people that's natural born scholars, and they just absorb and a whole lot of information, and they're easily educated. They learn. Their mind is built for the academic world, and it's just like our emotional intelligence. We have to practice it. We have to break old habits. We have to break old traits and put new traits in place. We need to refine it. We need to put it as a living as a living work in progress as we're living, and it will improve over time. But anyway, I'm going to limit this to 10 minutes. Please comment, share and subscribe, and I hope I made some sense to you. Have a great day.